Hey everyone, Key of W here with more The Artisan of Glimmith. Forgot the name of the game for a second there. I shouldn't forget the name of the game. It's a pretty memorable title. It's unique. But for some reason, every time I boot the game up and I start playing it, and I'm about to tell you guys what the game is, I forget. Surely that's a great sign for trying to solve puzzles, to have a memory as I do. So let's look at the size separation section. I want to look further into the game at windows that haven't been silverized entirely. So this section's got some easy puzzles remaining, so I can remember what this rule is. Neighboring areas just must have different areas. Right. Size separation is the mingle shape of area rather than shape. Mingle shape says just as long as they're a different shape. They can have the same area. Size separation, though, does say different areas. So we know we've got some singles, which means we have to have dominoes here. We have to have a domino, because if we didn't have a domino, we'd have a single, which would mean we'd have two singles next to each other. All right, so this has to have at least three. But these can't have four. See, in this area, we have 8. Now, if I make a region of... I could just make a region of 8. But then I would have to figure out how to make this one not be a region of 8. These are the same region. Oh, I see what it is. This is actually quite clever. This is quite clever for a puzzle. I mean, it's an easier puzzle, yes, but I'm still going to give the clever to easy puzzles. Clever doesn't always mean the puzzle has to be hard. So see, I have 2 exactly the same 8s. Now, I could fill one of these with an 8, right? This is fine. But I couldn't fill this with an 8 because it's right next to the other guy. So the game is telling me to fill them with something else. Now, how do I divide this into smaller units? I could divide it into smaller units by, say, I don't know, a 4 and a 4, but these are the same area. So I'd have to make a 3 and a 5 or a 2 and a 6. Well, the trouble with 3 and a 5 is every version of 3 that comes out from any dead end is going to make an orphan cell. So it must be 2 and 6. That's the conclusion we come to. But the trouble is all these things around here. There is, however, one location that I can stick another domino. It's right there. I'm supposed to figure that part out. And the rest of it is pretty simple. Just new area sizes. Great. I love that. Definitely over-explained, but I think that was just a really clever thing I was supposed to spot there. I like that. All right, a similar kind of puzzle here. We got some singles, and then we got our doubles that are forced. Now, in this case, different areas. The trick here is we got 10. I can't do 2 5s. There's no way to do that. Could I do a 4 and a 6? The trouble with that is, let's say down here, if this is the 4, we're going to move it up. We can't ignore this space where we have a single, so we have to take this. But now a 4 is going to leave that space. But we can't have a 6 here because we can't go there. This is 5. That makes 5 and 5, which, you know, if we didn't have size separation, who cares? But can't do that. So 3 and 7? How would I do that? Well, this space has to be at least 3. So it's got to move out. So yeah, but I can't just leave this here because we have 2 3s. I would have to bring that up. And I can't bring that across, and I have to bring it here, but I have another double here, which isn't going to work. All right, let me think about this. This one's a little trickier. Where is the trick? Every place I can put next to a single is also next to a double. That's next to a double, that's next to a double. So that we don't use the same trick as last time, where there's a spot where we can throw a double. Is there a place I can throw a single? Right here. There's a place I can throw a single. Look, that's it. I should have thought that way instead of the double. Nice. That's another really clever one. It's the same general idea as the puzzle next to it, these two. Is you got to see that there's a spot you can break the rule, or the supposed rule the level's throwing at you. Nice. All right, 2 2 2. Put some 3s down. We gotta put this 4 somewhere. Okay, size separation. We can't bring the 2 down because it'll be next to another 2, so that's a gimme. This 3 can't go down unless it's part of the same unit. Ah, it can't be because this puts a 3 there. So this can't move down. That 3 is taken care of. This 3 must now take that space. This 4 will come out, so the 2 comes down that way. This 3 can't move to the right. Can't move left because then it'll be touching something here. So we do have this taken care of. And then we just have some singles. That's a wonderful one. Not as clever as it was up here, but that's fine. That's the one I just did. I'm trying to click on this other guy right there. Bunch of 2s. This is going to be interesting. I think the trick here is to make sure we don't create any spaces of 2 anywhere else. We cannot bring this piece to the left because it's going to touch 2 other 2s. This one can't move down. So now we have a 3 space. We're going to have to use this 3 space. Because if we make a single anywhere, then we have a single and a double. We can't have 3 singles, right? Size separation, basic rules. This can't move up, so we got to move down. This can't move to the right, so we definitely have a single in that spot. These have to move this way, so we got a few singles in there. We got to move that, singles in here. Okay, this must move now this direction. We can't move here. We make another double, so we've got to have some triples. Nice. These feel like boilerplate sort of puzzles for this area. How about this one? Something a little harder. 1, 1. We got some 2s. I've kind of relied on certain color for certain sizes here. Five, 6. I think we got that going on. So let's just immediately just wall off our singles. They're not going anywhere. These 2s cannot move toward each other, so this 2 is actually set. So this one is set as well. The 4 must escape. Now any direction this 4 moves is going to touch that 4, so they must be connected to each other. So I got to put a wall there. Let's see, 5 Ys, 4 Ys. Now if this 4 were to move downward, it would have to take both of these cells. I think a better way to approach what I'm doing here is to look in this area. We can't have a single here. We can't have a double here. We have to have at least a triple. Now, if we were to say that this blue area I've just created is neither the 5 nor the 4, it would have to be a 3, and now the 5 has nowhere to go. So this must be part of either the 4 or the 5. Now, if it's part of the 5, we're going to run into trouble, because now we have nowhere to finish the 5. Therefore, the 4 is, in fact, what goes into there. The 5 can, at most, move that far, so it must go up at least 1 space. Nothing says we can't have a single space there. Let's see. Any other spots? Give me something. Is there any way the 3 is blocked to the right? No, because then it would touch that one. Therefore, this 3 must escape that way. The 6, how far can this 6 go before we run into trouble? It can go all the way up here. Shoot, I was hoping I would force it down. This 3 can't move up now, so it's got to move to the right. So the furthest this one can go is here, so we do have to bring it up at least 1 space. But I don't know, it could take either of these 2 and all those. We don't have a guaranteed cell yet. I could also let the 2 go. Hold on, if this 2 moves up, we have a single space here. So we do have to, in fact, do this. So this space needs to be at least 3, right? And that would leave just enough for the 6, but not enough for the 3. So I don't think this is its own unit. This has to be part of the 6. Can't be the 1, can't be a 2. If it is at least 3, then this 3 no longer has room to grow. Therefore, that is the 6. This 3 now has to go here. Probably knew that earlier. I can bring either of these because the space in here can be a 1 or a 2. It just can't be 2 1s. 4 is complete. Can this 3? Yeah, this 3 can go here just fine. Can the 2 go here? If the 2 went here, it would force the 3s in this situation, which is still fine. Seems like there's a lot of options here, and I don't want to guess. I want to know. So where can I look? This 4 must touch this one. If it doesn't touch this one, it would have to be this shape. Now the 3 is nowhere to go. So these 2 touch, but there's multiple ways to get them to do so, just not there. Oops. So this 4 cannot move to the left, so it does move down. The 3 is pretty hemmed in now, but there's still no guarantees. The 5 must move out. 4 is complete. 5 is complete. Let's see. The 6, these are 3 spaces. Well, only 1 space can be taken in here at most, so the 6 does have to move out this way. The 5 can only take at max 1 space, meaning it moves out, so the 4 is actually complete. The 5 is complete. Okay, I should have just known this. And we should have it solved here. That was a good one. I feel like I hit the world's best puzzles at the beginning of this. I mean, I know they were easier, but like I thought it was just really clever. These ones are just kind of standard. They're good. I like them, but they're not giving me that same like, wow, that's a clever moment that I got from the first ones. Well, I know I got a Y shape there. Got an N shape up here, C shape, domino, got an S, domino, or a Z or a Z, T, domino, L. These are my common colors for these shapes, but they might get confusing because they're all right next to each other. They probably will get confusing. I'm going to recast the Z as this piece, and I'm going to recast that, and this L I'm going to give yellow. I think that'll be good. It should be easy, a little bit easier to tell what shapes are what. Now, how am I going to make this shape here? I think there's only one arrangement. No, there's several arrangements, actually. I forgot about that. A lot of arrangements of the Z. This C piece is a little restricted. If I were... This is an arrangement that works. Don't know if I like that. It creates a single space here, which is fine. In fact, I can create... We got 43 spaces that aren't used here. Actually, if I do this real quick, there's 52 spaces. 52 spaces with 5, 10, 12, 17, 19, 24, 29, 31, 36. So I have a lot of spaces left over for other shapes. How about this T? That's a spot you can do. Actually, can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Here's a spot we can do. I can also do that. So there's really no cell guaranteed. Where do I start with this one? If I bring this out, it doesn't completely block the T out. T still has a way it can go. I should remember how the rule works. That might help, because I'm thinking of size separation as mingle shape. It isn't. These are all 5s. You know what? I'm going to go back to doing it instead of different colors or different shapes. I'm going to just say all of the 5s are the same color, right? I'm going to do green, this teal green for all of the 5s so that I know not to bring them to touch each other. So the C then could be like this. It also could be any of these. Right? I just know that it's not going to be that one. This can't move all the way to the right. This... If I bring the Y shape to the left, the challenge now is what to do with the T shape. It can't move down because it'll touch, and that's the same area. It can't move to the right. You have to move up and only up, which would give me this shape. So I think we are led to this direction, which means this can't move down. There's still a few arrangements we can do here. This arrangement touches another 5. This one doesn't immediately, but then this guy's screwed. If I were to block... Yeah, we can't do that or that. So I think I have to bring this up. This is probably the only arrangement I can do. I can't do this one. We might be locked into this arrangement. which means that the T is locked into this one. This can't move all the way. It's got to move up and down a bit. Only move that far. It's got to move up once. I could be wrong on this. I have no idea. I think this would have to be here. Oh dear. What's another way I could do this? This guy's trouble. Now this one's trouble. There's so much space in here. I want to do this, but it's touching that one. Is there any other way to arrange this guy? It definitely isn't here, because then there's just nothing I can do. It's definitely this. Go back. How would I arrange this T-shape if I just get rid of all these? Goodbye. It would have to be here, right? It won't be that. It's too bad. That would be a great arrangement. Feels like I've taken the logical steps here. There's no, it would have to go up. Yeah, it would, this isn't gonna work. So if I have this correct, then how on earth, this one might not be correct. That might be the thing. That is definitely not. We've already covered that. This would move up. This is the only thing that fits. I've got to have something that fits better. This can't be. This has to move down and either that way or that way. Right? This end can't start by moving right, because then it would do this. It would touch that piece. It can't move to the right that way either. So we do move this way. Either does that or that. So these spaces all belong to that end, which means this guy can't move up or right. It's down. But now this piece has nowhere to go. This way? No, this still comes out there. This way? That does it. But now, what do I do here? This space has nowhere to go. That's certainly not it. That's certainly not it. Not for this guy. This is the one that's trouble. Is there an arrangement I have not noticed? I mean, there has to be an arrangement I haven't noticed. I also get a little bit suspicious when I see the difficulty's low and I'm struggling. Because it means that the designers thought, oh, this is an obvious one. And I don't see it. What's another piece I can work on? Like, I'm just trying to find what is the piece that must go a certain way. But every time I do that, this must go that way. But I can't solve the puzzle this way. So I think, well, it must go this way. Well, I can't solve the puzzle here either. I would have to block these. Does this work? This might work. Which would allow me down here again. Can I get into there? I can get into there. But what do I do here? This is it. This is how it's gone. Okay, it was just I didn't see this possible solution. That's it. Well, now this domino's got to move down, because otherwise I'll have 2 dominoes. This one's got to move out. And then we're safe. We should be able to get the rest of this. Let's put it on blue. Oh, dear God, thank you. I just did not see it. Just didn't see that working. Oh, we're doing it again. Okay. We know that these pieces in these little holes are going to have to extend out. Got a lot more regions. How many spaces? We got 25 spaces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more. Is that right? Yeah, 11 more circles for 25. So a lot of diamonds, is what, or a lot of dominoes that we're going to have. But, hold on. This has got to be at least 3. This has got to be at least 3. And this has got to be at least 3. So we've got, let's see. We got, what's it, 25 spaces. Minus 9. We're going to do a little bit of math. That leaves 16. $16 spaces left. So we had 11 circles. Minus 3. Yeah. Now, they don't all have to be dominoes. It's just that they would have to be, there could be singles as well. Huh. But I don't think there's anything bigger than a 3. That's my guess. So, like, if I took this out and I moved it left, this would need to be at least 3 as well. Right? But it has to be bigger than 3. Let's see. These has to be at least 3. So we have to have at least that. But we could have more. So it's not a guarantee on this. It's just... doesn't leave a lot of space. Now, this one could just extend here. But now this guy's got to extend as well. So the question is... Oh, this is actually a much easier one. This space can't extend any further. There's another circle. So now we do need to have this bend. Let's see. Now this one has to be... I get it. Because this is a 2, this is a 3. This space can't be any larger than 3 because it's going to touch 2 circles. So it's got to be a solo piece. Okay, that's nice. So we got 19 spaces left for 8 pieces. That's good. This space... it's going to touch the 3 up here. Let's see. We could make a 4 there. We still don't know. Let's see. This guy can't be a single, so it's got to be a domino because there's nowhere else for it to go, which means this needs to be at least 3, and it might as well take that spot, and it is in fact 3. We've got 2s and 3s here. It can't be larger than that, so we have a single here. Alright, this isn't too bad. This is too bad. This is a good piece. This one's got to be, can't be 1, so it's 2, but it can't be 3. Could it be 4? Could it be 5? Let's just start with that. This piece can't be larger than 2, so it's got to be 1. Alright. This can't be a 1. If I do this, we make a 3 here. If I make this a 5, then we either have a 1 or a 2 there. 2 is fine, but it makes a 2 here. So I don't think that's how that goes. I think this is its own space. This doesn't work. This could be... but then that doesn't work. This doesn't work. Alright, let's examine this a little more closely. This piece does need to come out. This has to be a different piece, and it has to extend up there. So now the question is, does this extend? Yes. That's how we do it. Ah, that's how we do it. Nice. That's a really good one. Now, how many more do we got? Oh, one more till we make this silver. Wow, we're close. No. No, not doing 7 right now. Okay. We got an elbow, an F shape, or a W shape. The only thing that's going to fit in here is the F shape. Like an elbow shape fits in there, but like it leaves orphan cells. So we've got our F shape here. We can't have a W or an F shape. We have to have all of these as elbow shapes. It's possible that these two are touching, but it's possible they're not. All right, where do we go from there? Gotta have a guess. Well, if I moved this piece down, I couldn't move this one to the right, which would mean it would go like this. No, it would just go like that. That's fine. But I would have to put... I could put an F shape here just fine. Dang it. I was thinking I couldn't put anything there. I can. If I bring these over, it'd force that shape. And then in here, what do I put? There's an F shape that fits just fine. I think. No, now the trick is we can't bring this here. I think this breaks the puzzle. Right? Let's go back. So I think if we say this piece, these two are connected. If we bring that out. That breaks the puzzle because we can't bring that up. We'd have to put a wall there, which is going to force one of these two. Now, W piece isn't going to fit in this spot, so it would be an F shape, just like this. Now, this would have to be an elbow, and now it touches that elbow. So that breaks the puzzle. Therefore, these two are separated, which means this can't move up because then they can't touch each other. So this must be the piece. And I am only 90% positive on that. Which means I've got to fit... There is a way to fit an F shape here just fine. There's also a way to fit a W shape. Like this. But now this piece can't move to the right. It has to move down and it has to move left. So these are done. This can't move down, but still has a couple options. Hold on a second. I should just do the obvious. These actually do have to be connected. Because if they're not, then their size separation doesn't work. Which means this can't go down. This can't move that way. This can't move down. We'll have a problem in there. So I think these are given based on that rule, size separation. So now this has to be purple. This has to be an F shape. Nothing else will fit here. A W shape won't work. So we've got to have that. I'm just going to put an elbow here. And now F shape or W shape can go there. No, not an F shape. F shape causes a problem. And the problem is right here. Because size separation means we can't have a 3 or a 5. The only other shape available to us. Yeah. So this will end up being a W shape. Putting an elbow shape here. And then in this spot, we have to have an F. That's the only thing that'll fit. Which puts an elbow here. Now this spot's got to be F. Because a W would be that. We'd leave an orphan cell. All right, I think we're getting along just fine. This can't be an F shape. It has to be a W shape. Only thing that fits there. Puts the elbow like so, and the F shape. All right. Now we got it. We got to have elbow shape both of these spots. So they both got to be connected. Means that's the elbow shape. That's the elbow shape. We have the F. So I only had a couple F pieces, or only a couple W pieces, but it's pretty good. Yeah, this puzzle would have gone a lot easier if I wasn't an idiot and I just immediately connected these elbow pieces together. But that's a good one. I like that. Neat. Let's end it there with just another silver window. Yeah, we've got most of our windows silver at this point. I think there's a few... I don't know. There's still this whole castle section we got to do. So yeah, with that, I think I'm satisfied, and I will see people in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you then. Bye.